make it work for you. What we're going to have is coming up first, going to be a comedian. And he's from Kansas City? Topeka, top city. Top city's own. And we're going to let them introduce him to you, and he'll be all the way live.
Ready? All right.
All right. Everybody gonna have a good time tonight. I'm here to make somebody laugh. It's always a good time to laugh in these hard times. It is always have a good time. You know, and you know what month this is? This is Easter month. You know why the Easter bunny hide their eggs? Well, nobody knows. No, they can mess around with the chickens. Well, this Baptist church, every time somebody would join the church, they would baptize them in the creek. You know, wading in the water, wading in the water, children. And you know, they was out there baptizing. You know, Baptist church, they dip you in the water and they pick you up. Well, this homeless guy, this transient guy was standing in the woods, and he was looking at him. And all of a sudden, he comes out of the woods and stood right next to the minister. And the minister looks at him and he says, "Ah, my son, are you here to find Jesus?" The guy said, "Yeah, I'm here to find Jesus." So they dipped him in the water and picked him back up. And all of a sudden, they said, "Ah, my son, have you found Jesus?" Says, "No, I ain't found him." Yeah, do it again. In the water and picked him back up. And then all of a sudden the minister said, "Now, my son, have you found Jesus?" And the guy turns around, looks at him, and he says, "Y'all sure this is where they fell in at?" Well, it's Baptist church. Every Sunday, you know, they would have a church convention. And they invited all the big churches in Topeka. Antioch, Mount Carmel, True Vine, St. Luke. They invited everybody. And it was hot. And the air conditioner was off. And the minister gets up and he starts talking about the devil. "Oh, the world is full of the devil. The devil is no damn good. The devil is ruining the world." And in the back of the church, the devil shows up in a cloud of smoke. And everybody said, "Run! Run! It's the devil! Get out! Run!" And the devil comes up to one of the deacons. And it was Deacon Woods. And he said, "You know who I am?" And the Deacon Wood says, "Yeah, man, you the damn devil." And he says, "Well, how come you ain't scared of me and how come you ain't running?" Deacon Wood says, "Well, I'll let you know, I've been married to your sister for 30 years." Well, Forrest Gump. Boy, Forrest was running all the time. Forrest running everywhere. Everybody went up Forrest. Forrest just run. And all of a sudden one day, Forrest Gump had a heart attack. And he died. And he went up to Heaven's Gate. And St. Peter came out and said, "Forrest, before I let you in these gates, I got to ask you some questions or you go to hell." And he said, "Okay." He says, "All right. What are the first days of the week that begins with a T?" Forrest said, "Duh. Today and tomorrow." "No, Forrest, no. He said, "Okay, another question. How many seconds are in a year?" And Forrest said, "How many seconds are in a year?" "Duh. There's 12 seconds." 12? Yeah. January the 2nd, February the 2nd, March the 2nd. said, okay, this is the last one. He said, what is God's first name? He said, what is God's first name? Andy. Andy? How you get Andy? Well, Andy walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. Oh, lights went off, bell sounded, door when Andy man said, run, Forrest, run, 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 run. Well, these married couples, I don't want to say that. It was about, yeah, I'll tell that. About the three married couples. There was an older couple, there was a young couple, and there was a real young couple. And they all were going to join this church. And the minister gets up and he says, before I let y'all join this church, y'all can't have no sex for a month. Oh, man. So about a month goes by and they come back to the church. And the minister asked the old couple, he says, did you guys not have sex for a month? And they said, no, we too old to be having sex. Okay, well, welcome to the church. He asked the middle-aged couple. He said, did you guys not have sex for a month? And they said, oh, no, we got 6 kids at the house. We don't have no sex. He asked the young couple. He said, did you guys not have sex for a month? And the young couple says, the young man says, well, Reverend, I'm going to be honest with you. He said, my wife, she reached up and grabbed a can of corn. She dropped it and her posterior looked so great, I had sex with her right then. And the preacher says, well, I'm sorry, young man, you can't join the church. He said, well, yeah, we got kicked out of Walmart too. That was better than getting slapped in the face, I can tell you that. That was better than getting slapped in the face. Well, let me see. Let me tell you one more, a good one. It's about, I had them all down last night. I guess I must have went to sleep and forgot them already. Well, it's about, God. God was walking around heaven. Everything was great. Oh my goodness, everybody getting along. People were just enjoying themselves. And God got to thinking, well, maybe I ought to send an angel down to earth and see how the people on earth doing. So he sent an angel down. The angel came back up to him. He said, God, I got some good news and I got some bad news. And he says, what? He says, well, what's the bad news? Well, the bad news is the people on earth is doing bad down there. They got war going on, people killing. I mean, there's a lot of sin down there. And he says, well, what's the good news? Well, the good news is I found 5 good souls. He says, well, write me a letter and let me know, and I'll write them a letter. Anybody know what the letter said? I didn't get one either. Well, there's this $20 bill, $10 bill, a $5 bill, and a $1 bill. They're all riding around this man's pocket. And the $20 bill says, man, I can't get weighed out of here. He says, man, I'm going to head to the casino. And I'm going to be having me some fun. The $10 bill says, well, I'm heading to the grocery store and going to buy a bunch of food and feed everybody. And the $5 bill says, well, I'm not going to have much fun. He said, I'm going to be in some kid's pocket, wadded up for allowance money. And the $1 bill says, well, shoot, I ain't going to never have no fun. All I'm going to do is wind up in church. first time, well, my second time really doing this for Joey. I love me some Joey. And I don't do anything for Joey. He just tells me I come up here and act like a fool for Joey. That's my dog.
Thank you, my brother.
You got a dog? You got a dog in the house? That's my dog right there.
I'm barking.
That's my dog right there. He got me up here acting like this. I normally been too shy to get up here unless I'm singing. And I sing, so I get up and sing. So I figure if I can sing in front of everybody, I can tell a few jokes in front of everybody too. Okay, let me see here. I got probably one more here, Joey. It's about the lady in the church. Man, her car was broke down. Lawnmower wouldn't start. So she went to church and she told the minister. She said, Reverend, I'm having a hard time at my house. My car won't start and my lawnmower won't run. He said, well, what you do is you go home and you just started praying to the Lord and to the Jesus, and maybe he will answer your prayers. So sure enough, she went home and she started praying. Oh Lord, oh God, you know my car won't start. And the guy next door, he heard her. He said, shut up, old lady. There ain't no Lord. There ain't no God. He said, well, I guess I'll fix your doggone car. Doggone flat tire. I guess I'll fix it. So sure enough, next morning, she gets up and the car tire was fixed. Man, she went in the house and she started praying again. Oh, Lord. Oh, God. You know my lawnmower won't run. And the man next door said, shut up, old lady. There ain't no Lord. There ain't no God. He decided, well, dang, she gonna shut up. I guess I have to fix her lawnmower too. So sure enough, he fixed her lawnmower and she woke up and seen her lawnmower was fixed. She started praying again. Oh, Lord. Oh, God. Thank you for fixing my lawnmower. And the man next door said, shut up, old lady. There ain't no Lord. There ain't no God. I fixed your lawnmower and I fixed your flat on your tire. Well, then she got to praying some more. She said, well, oh, Lord. Oh, God. Thank you for letting the devil do it. Well, Amos and Andy, they were two bad little boys. Amos and Andy was always stealing, taking things, starting fights. Oh man, they were two bad brothers. And the people in the neighborhood decided, well, we need to go talk to these boys' mama. And maybe she can take them to church and get them to Jesus. So sure enough, she took them to church, sit them right on the front row. And the minister came out and he looked at them. He said, Amos and Andy, you some two badass little boys. He said, where is God? They looked at each other and he said, where is God? And Amos and Andy got scared and they ran out to church. Well, when they came back, their mama jumped them. Oh, Amos and Andy, I tried to take you two bad old boys to church, and all y'all did was shame me. You ran out. Why did you run out? Well, Amos and Andy looked at each other and said, well, apparently, Mama, we figured it out. We figured that somebody must have kidnapped God, and they're trying to blame it on us. Well, little Johnny. He was at Walmart, and he seen a nice red bicycle. And he got to talking to his mama. Mama, if you would buy me this red bicycle, I would be good. She said, no, little Johnny, you are always bad. He said, well, Mama, I will be good if you would buy me this bike. She said, well, I tell you what, when we get home, you write a letter to Jesus, and maybe Jesus will get you that bike. So he goes home, he starts writing his letter. Dear Jesus, my name is Johnny. I seen a nice red bike at Walmart. He said, I am being a good boy. Will you please send me that bike? He looked at his letter and, no, shoot, no. I got to tear it up. So he got to walking around the house and he got to thinking, what can I do? What can I do to get this bike? So he ran down to the Catholic Church and got the statue of the Virgin Mary. And he got back home and he got to writing his letter again. Dear Jesus, my name is Johnny. I'm writing you this letter to let you know I got your mama. Send me the bike, and no harm comes to her. Well, this grandpa and grandma was in the nursing home. And grandpa, he was hard to hear. So every time somebody had to say something to grandpa, grandma would have to tell him. So the doctor came up to him and he says, Grandpa, I'm going to need a stool and a urine sample from you. And grandpa looks at grandma and he says, huh? What did he say, grandma? Grandma looks at him and says, the doctor said he's going to need your underwear. 83 ministers having luncheon at Golden Corral. And they got to talking, and the first minister said, I got something to tell you guys, and it's a secret. They said, what is it? What you talking about? He says, well, me and my wife, kids, and my daughters are going to college, and I've been taking money from the church. Oh, no, that's bad. The second minister says, well, I got something to tell you guys, and it's a secret. And they said, what is it? He said, well, me and my wife ain't getting along, and I've been having an affair with one of the ladies in the church. Oh, no, that's bad. Third minister says, well, I got something to tell you guys. And they said, well, what is it? He says, well, I'm going to let you know, I can't keep a secret.
All right, y'all, give it up for Mr. Leonard Woods, y'all.
Donald Trump. Oh man, Donald Trump, this Donald Trump. Woo! Well, Donald Trump, he was out there in the ocean, swimming, and all of a sudden, a big wave came out of the ocean and knocked him off his feet. And Donald Trump started to scream, help! Help, I'm drowning! Help! And all of a sudden, these three boys heard it, and they jumped in the water. And they swam until they got down, hold of Donald Trump, and brought him back to the beach. And Donald Trump looked at him, and he said to the first boy, he said, man, you saved my life. He said, what do you want? And the first boy says, well, I want $100,000. Donald Trump says, well, you go with my agent and he give you $100,000. He asked the second boy, what do you want? Second boy says, well, I want a Mercedes-Benz. And Donald Trump says, well, you go with my agent and he'll get you a Mercedes-Benz. He asked the third boy, what do you want? And the third boy says, well, I'm going to need a handicapped van and a handicapped scooter so I can get in my handicapped van. And Donald Trump says, what? He says, well, why are you going to need that? Well, the boy says, to tell you the truth, Donald Trump, when I go home and tell my dad I saved you from drowning, that's when I'm going to need it. Well, this lady, she had about 20 cats. And man, she couldn't take care of all them cats. So one of the cats died. One of the cats died and he went to pet heaven. And the people up in pet heaven said, why you want to live up here, Mr. Cat? And Mr. Cat said, well, on earth, all I did was lay around, purr, and look pretty. They says, well, you go down a block, 2 blocks, and take that left, and there's a nice little house out there for you. So about a month goes by, and these mice, little rats, got exterminated, and they wind up in pet heaven. And the people in pet heaven says, how you want to live up here, Mr. Mises? Mises. And they says, well, we tired of riding on our feet. We want skateboards and roller skates. Oh, okay. So about another month goes by, and the people in pet heaven seen the cat. And they say, Mr. Cat, how is it up here? Mr. Cat says, man, this is the best place in Sight. I love those Meals on Wheels. Well, Moses and God and Jesus was out golfing. And they're out golfing. And Moses, he puts his ball on the tee. He hits it up in the air. And the wind blows and blows it and blows it in the water. Moses gets his golf club and he starts to park the water. He's parking the water. He finds his ball, reach down and grab it and throw it towards the hole. Jesus, he gets out there and he puts his ball on the tee and gets it up in the air and the wind blows it and blows it and blows it in the water. Jesus, he walks across the water. He's looking for his ball. He sees his ball, he levitates it out of the water and pours it towards the hole. Well, God, he gets up there and he puts his ball on the tee and he hits it up in the air. And the wind blows it and all of a sudden a fish comes out of the water, swallows the ball, an eagle comes out of nowhere, grabs the fish, carries the fish to the hole, wiggles the fish, and the ball pops out of the fish's mouth into a hole-in-one. Well, Moses and Jesus looked at each other and said, well, God, we know you can work miracles, but you know, we're just playing golf. Yeah, sure. Well, this little kid, this little teacher, she gets to class and there's this little apple on her desk. And under the apple, there was a little note, T-T-T. Well, the teacher gets there and she says, okay, class, I like this apple, but somebody put T-T-T on it. And little girl raised her hand up and she said, I did, teacher. She says, well, what does the T-T-T stand for? She said, well, that means to the teacher. Oh, okay, all right. So the next day she gets to class, and there's a huge red apple on her desk. And she looked at the apple and there was a note on it. It had F-U-C-K on it. Oh my God, the teacher got upset. She said, I like this apple, but somebody's in trouble in here. Somebody wrote F-U-C-K on it. Well, the little black kid get up there and said, well, I did, teacher. That means from us colored kids. Well, every Sunday, Grandpa would get to church and he starts to fall asleep while the preacher is preaching. And sure enough, Grandma decided that she was going to keep him awake this Sunday, and she tired of hearing it snow. So she took a pen with her, a little needle pen, and she was going to, poke him when he started falling asleep. So sure enough, they get to church, and Grandpa, he sits down, and he starts to fold his arms, and he starts to snore. And all of a sudden, the preachers out. Can anybody tell me who created the heaven and the earth? And Grandma looks at Grandpa, pokes him in his arm. And Grandpa jumps up and says, God Almighty! Oh, yes, sir. So he sits back down and he starts to fall asleep again. And the preacher hollers out, can anybody tell me who's the Savior of the world? Who is the Savior? And Grandma grabs the pins and pops Grandpa in his arm, and Grandpa jumps up and says, Jesus Christ! Yes, sir, Grandpa. Yes, sir. So next thing you know, Grandpa, he sits back down, and the preacher starts to holler. Can anybody in here tell me what Sister Marshall said to her husband after she done had 8 children by him? And Grandma looks at Grandpa and she takes her pen and pokes him, and he jumps up and he says, if you don't quit poking me with that damn thing, I'm going to break it off. Oh my goodness, let me see here, what can I say? What do you want me to say, baby? That's my wife right there. Everybody give her a round. That's my love right there. That's the one keeping me fed and keeping me all going and keeping me laughing. And you know how you got a wife. Y'all just get together and do things and just have fun, don't we? At least we try.